the 8th time as a coach.
I want to say hello to the fans at Joe Louis. They're live right now. I guess they're sold out, and we can't wait to get home.
I feel like you really don't believe me, but
Well, I believe you.
it
You wouldn't
really
make
was.
that up.
I would. If all the
Surprising.
156 names, why would I pick that one?
I don't know.
Because it looks cool.
Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark. We're going to get to that just a second. My name is Fred Heumann, and this is Fred Heumann from News 10 Sports.
I am.
It's just you and Joey today.
Yeah.
But you guys will take care of everything.
Try to survive without Tim. It's a tough deal. We'll try to make it.
It is. But we're actually going to take a look at, we've been talking about it pretty much all week so far, the PGA US Open in Los Angeles. And we now have a three-way tie right now in round 2.
So in the break, setting up, you told me out of 156 names, you picked Wyndham Clark to
I
win.
did.
How is that possible?
His name looks cool. It looks like the name of a
Picked him
hotel.
because he has a cool name.
Yes.
And now he's in the league. At least he's tied for the league, right?
And Brock and Tim did not get to my phone call on the radio show the other day where they were
Called in?
I tried.
And you pick him?
I did.
And you didn't get in.
They didn't
Tell
get
him
to
you
my
have
call.
connections.
They didn't get to my call.
Wyndham Clark has surged into a tie for the lead.
He has.
He's still on the course. He's on the 16th hole. He is 8 at a par for the tournament. The two other co-leaders were Ricky Fowler and Xander Schauffele. They haven't teed off yet today. They'll be teeing off within the hour.
Yeah, within the hour.
So they're also 8 under with their 62s in the book. Now, those are low scores for U.S. Open, Norm. So
They can
we'll
stay
see
that
if-
way because
we'll see if the course gets back at them this weekend. But those are very low scores to be 8 under par here early in the second round.
And this goes all the way through Sunday, right?
It is.
ends
All right
Sunday
here on
night.
Channel 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does it end Sunday night or afternoon?
Sunday night, it'll end at night
Okay.
because they're playing in Los Angeles, and with a 3-hour time limit, this golf coverage goes to like 11 o'clock at night, and maybe longer on Sunday if there's although the playoff would be the next day in the U.S. Open, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
Tim would know that.
he would. Wyndham would know that.
I'm sure he would. Why don't you call him and ask him? Since he's your best buddy now.
I'm going through a lot of the
She
big
wouldn't make this stuff up,
I
folks.
wouldn't. I would not.
That's why I believe her, because she couldn't make this up. She picked Wyndham Clark.
Well, because obviously the big names like Ricky Fowler, Johnson, a bunch of the big names obviously went first. John
They
Ram.
caution you that this is Friday.
This is Friday.
They don't crown a champion until Sunday night.
But the Friday champion.
Friday champion pays nothing.
Oh, all right.
But I do give you a high five.
Thank you. All right. We're going to move on. We had some high school sports wrap up yesterday for some local schools.
What we did for Lansing Catholic, their baseball team was our lone baseball team left in Division III. They lost to Algonac 4-1. So Lansing Catholic's season is over. I just saw their coach an hour ago.
Okay.
He says they lose 5 or 6 seniors, but they're young and the future bodes well, but they
Okay.
will miss those seniors. We do have Langsburg in softball playing in Division III today at 5:30 in the semifinals. If Langsburg wins that, they play again tomorrow in the championship game to try to win the Division III softball championship. So we still have that one local team alive, the Langsburg Wolfpack.
Is that where Joey's be at?
Joey's going there today.
Okay.
He's just stepping in now as we're getting ready to go to the Langsburg game, which is at Michigan State at Sequia Stadium.
All right. We'll get some updates from him. You can always catch those online and on all of our streaming platforms.
Indeed.
And in what I believe is probably the least surprising news of the NBA offseason, Ja Morant has been suspended for the first 25 games of the upcoming season by the league. This is not by the Memphis Grizzlies. This is by the team, and it's for his second incident where he supposedly had a gun in a social media post or a firearm in a social media post. I don't think anybody is surprised by this, but a lot of people are wondering why only 25.
I was surprised, if anything, that it was only 25 games. I thought they'd hit them harder. They play 82, and I'm not here to say that's a horrible sentence or not enough. I was just a little surprised. I thought it might be a little more than that, whether it's 40 or 50. This kid, who's an enormous talent,
He's so good.
he has to learn either not to have a gun or to register it correctly. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it happened twice, and they were close together. I mean, what is he thinking? And I'm not that close to I'm not close to the situation at all.
No,
but the optic of it is terrible.
It's really bad. It's really, I mean,
it's terrible. I mean, this guy is risking millions of dollars by this behavior. How important is it to him to have a gun?
I would not want my nephews and nieces to look up to him.
Well, I would hope they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because he's got some explaining to do, Lucy.
He does.
So we'll see. Hopefully this will straighten him out.
And the return does come with conditions from the league. We don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But that does come with the conditions. And is the draft tonight? NBA draft?
No, the NBA draft is... Joey, when's the NBA draft? Joey will know.
Joey.
It's not tonight.
Next Thursday?
You would know more, yeah.
Okay. Next Thursday.
It's next week.
Consensus is next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
In a week.
I don't have to know anything. I just have people like David Andrews that do know. It's next Thursday.
Well, we'll see where the Pistons get their pick.
Well, the problem with the Pistons is
a lot.
I know people are wallowing in the fact that they only got the 5th pick, but they've had a top pick for 4 years in a row now, and they still have the worst record in the league. I mean, so why would you be confident moving forward that the Pistons with a high pick are going to straighten out? They've had high picks, and they're still lousy. And now they're paying $78.5 million for a coach. And, wow, I hope he delivers for them.
They got a high-paid coach. They have excellent facilities. They've had multiple top 5, top 10 picks. Something's got to start.
I still think their downfall was leaving the Palace.
I love the
Palace. I thought the Palace was a perfect home for the Pistons. They got greedy. They jumped in on going downtown to the Little Caesars Arena. I know it's a nice arena, but it's a hockey arena.
It is.
You walk in and you see pictures of Steve Yzerman and Alex Delvecchio and Gordie Howe.
Statues and murals.
You see Stanley Cups. You don't see Bob Lanier. You don't see Dave Bing. You don't see Isaiah Thomas.
You don't
it's
even
a
see anybody
hockey
from the
arena.
04 team.
And they had a beautiful facility.
I love the
in Auburn Hills, and it's a parking lot now. It just doesn't make sense to me. To me, that was the start of their downfall.
I actually would go to the Palace for Detroit Vipers games.
Oh, really? Hockey? Of course you would. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Speaking of hockey,
long before Ted Lasso said we all need to believe, it was the Detroit Red Wings, and on this day 25 years ago they won the second of their back-to-back Stanley Cups. It was a very emotional. This is such an iconic photo in sports history, not just Detroit sports history, not just hockey history, but this was the one where, as you can see there, Vladimir Konstantinov, who we just had a story on this week, he was wheeled out after the Red Wings swept the Capitals for their second cup.
This strikes close to home to me because I was there that night.
Oh, really?
I was covering the Red Wings in the playoffs in 1998 because I was still working at WDIV, our sister station in Detroit at the time. And the irony of this is the pictures the picture you just showed.
These are from the Red Wings Twitter, by the way.
Of Laddie being wheeled out.
This one?
Yeah, even though I was in the building, I had to miss this moment because the media, they have to gather around the locker room for when the game ends. So all this was happening. I'm covering the event, and I didn't see it because I'm in the locker room waiting for interviews and access to them. So this big emotional moment I had to see on TV a couple hours after the game. That's the danger of it. That happened to Maglio Ordonez when he hit his home run to put the Tigers into the World Series.
It happened to Mickey Redmond.
I was at Comerica Park, but I'm waiting in the locker room while Ordonez hits his home run. So I'm covering the game, and I missed the home run. And I'm covering this game, and Vladimir Konstantinov, and the whole country saw him in such an emotional moment.
So emotional.
So I was there and missed this moment. But that was I was there for the celebration and the aftermath, and it was quite an emotional scene and one of the top memories of my career, indeed.
I remember Osgood celebrating like nobody's business.
Well, if you remember, during the game, they introduced him, and I'm not even sure all the Red Wings were aware that he was there.
So, I don't think they were.
So they introduced him up in the suite with his wife at the time, and they all banged their sticks.
I do remember that. I don't know if they're going to show it in this video.
Then they went on to win the game, but it was...
I mean, some of the Russian five, Fetisov and Kozlov were on this team as well, and
Larionov.
Yeah, they knew. I think Fedorov knew all of them, but
I don't think
classic Steve Yzerman, by the way.
Players knew.
No.
And Yzerman, of course, handed the cup to Vladdy in the wheelchair. That was emotional.
Very emotional.
But again, I'm in the building and I missed all this because I'm waiting for the team to come off the ice to do the interview. So
I as somebody who was a sports intern, we were kind of tasked with a lot of that work so that it was captured. Yeah. But I was just a kid, and this is the.
You're still just a kid.
Okay. This is the that's the parade I went to. I went to the second parade.
I went to both of them. Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, that was quite a moment in history. And
it wasn't just about that. It was also about Scotty Bowman tying Toe Blake's coaching record. That was another part that people forget about.
It was his 8th Stanley Cup, and I've gotten to know Scotty over the years. I still call him, I have him on the radio once in a while. He's 91, I believe. He's still sharp as a stick mentally, and it's been was quite a ride covering 3 of those 4 Stanley Cup
Mr. Ilitch
teams.
there still?
Yeah,
yep.
Mike Ilitch, yep. Yeah, well, quite a moment.
And no other team has swept or has done back-to-back except for the Penguins since then.
And that was 25 years ago today, the second one.
Yeah.
And then they got 2 more.
They did. We need more, though.
We'll need something a little more recent.
We'll work on that.
Yeah,
we need something
a little more recent.
Since I've been out of college, hopefully.
I get it.
But what do we have coming up? I know you said Joey's going to be.
Well, mostly it's the Langsberg story. That's the gist of it. Tigers play again tonight after winning last night. We'll stay on top of that. And we've got a local coach from Grand Ledge who was honored as the Coach of the Year in lacrosse.
Congratulations.
We'll talk about that. So we'll have plenty of stuff tonight. The Langsberg game won't be over in time. It's only starting at 5:30, so that'll be at 11 o'clock, and we'll keep you posted at 6 o'clock.
All right. You can catch everything on forums, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for